Hi folks, it looks like we got some really bad weather coming. I hope I'm wrong about this. It looks like we just crossed the magnetic field line and things are going to ramp up. We got new magnetic field connections to the sun too. It's going to pump up the Earth's energy.
Guys, we've got an epic, very unique situation unfolding out in the central Atlantic Ocean, and it's way more than just a Cat 4 hurricane that we've already talked about. And that's Hurricane Florence, Cat 4 major hurricane, moving towards the west, northwest, slightly northwest, at about 7-8 miles an hour. It's moving very slow, and it is entering warmer waters as it moves towards the west. These are the sea surface temperatures. The darker the color, the warmer the water. And it's right in here. It's actually strengthened in cooler waters, so it's no telling what it's going to do when it gets into the warmer waters. And what it's doing right now is actually unprecedented. I've never seen this before. We're over here at nullschool.net, where we've been following this dust cloud storm, whatever you want to call it, that's been rolling off the west coast of Africa for the better part of 10-12 weeks straight. Well, this hurricane is being chased by a dust cloud out in the central Atlantic. And what's happening, or what's happened, is this dust is getting sucked up into the hurricane. And this hurricane's becoming full of sand. I'm not kidding. Check this out. The current location, this is today. This was this afternoon. I'm going to step it ahead 3 hours at a time. So now we are at 10 o'clock tonight, or actually 11 o'clock tonight. And you can see the sand is starting to rotate counterclockwise in this storm system. Check this out. We're going to move it ahead 3 more hours at a time. Storm is moving west. That's Bermuda. Bermuda is probably about to see something really rare in about 4 days if it continues on its same path. Check this out. I know one thing. We've been dealing with a lot of eye irritation and upper respiratory out here in the desert southwest, and we've been getting, you can see the light green, that's dust from the Sahara. It's all over the globe, really. You can see it's getting more and more defined with an eye wall getting bigger. That's several hundred miles wide. That is incredible, and you can see the dust cloud is moving at about 7 or 8 miles an hour forward momentum, just like the storm is. Look at all this dust it's picking up. Talk about a photo op. It's no telling what they're going to see out east of Bermuda. And that's on the 9th. And that's as far as it'll let me go. 2 more hours into the 10th. That's 5 a.m. on the 10th. And that's as far as I can go. This is goes visible. You can see the hurricane right there, and the dust is behind it right there. You can see it even here on the visible. Something else I noticed down here by the equator off of the coast of South America are those upper atmospheric holes in the clouds. You don't normally see that, and that's right at the equator of Earth. Here you can see it's got it fully pulled in now, and it's sand wrapped, a sand wrapped major hurricane. Right there, it's off the coast of Bermuda, maybe a couple of 100 miles. Guys, in this video I want to take a look at Hurricane Florence as it's slowly but surely moving across the Atlantic. Some models are implying a direct impact with the eastern seaboard of the United States later on next week. Let's take a look at the miles it has to travel before it gets to the eastern seaboard. If it continues in this direction, you're looking at approximately 2,000 miles. Okay, if it's moving at 7 or 8 miles forward momentum, then it's going to be later next week if it continues on this same track before it gets here. There's a lot of things that can happen with a storm that's moving very slow like this one, and let's look at some of these models. We're here at windy.com. I'm starting tomorrow mid-afternoon. This is where the storm will be positioned, right in the middle of the Atlantic. And let's move it forward to Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. And watch how big this storm gets as it gets closer to the U.S. mainland. I mean, it gets huge according to this model. And this is a GFS model. This is Sunday evening, starting to grow in size. Now we're into Monday, Monday afternoon, Monday evening, Tuesday, Tuesday afternoon. Now into Wednesday. Look at the size of that thing. I mean, that's absolutely huge. And going right into North Carolina, Virginia. Here's another model from VentureSky. VentureSky, like Windy, they're both very accurate guidance models. We're going to start on, well, this is where it's at today. And it's got 103 mile an hour gusts. Let's step it forward tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, getting stronger. The darker the burgundy, the stronger, the higher the winds. Monday. See, it's getting a little more organized and getting stronger. Let's get in a little tighter here. That is Monday afternoon. Tuesday starts to gain a little forward momentum, moving a little faster, 125 mile an hour winds. Now Wednesday the 12th, 130, 137 mile an hour per wind. So we're looking at a high-end Cat 3, Cat 4 storm. And then on Thursday, the 13th, right offshore of North Carolina, with winds of, say, 130. Now again, this is a long ways away, guys, so more than likely it's going to change. Go to Thursday night, and it's just barely offshore of North Carolina with wind speeds up, according to this, 144 miles per hour. That's a Category 4 storm. And then maintaining its position a day later on Friday the 14th. Offshore, wind speeds still of 140, 145, there's 150. That's a high-end Cat 4. This is a GFS model at Tropical. Weather Charts is showing it getting very, very close, and then right at the last minute making a right-hand turn towards the north, hanging around, but it's got it at a very low pressure, right around 900 millibars. Guys, what you're looking at is a giant wave that was produced by Typhoon Jebi as it made landfall along the west central coast of Japan just a few hours ago. Now it's trekking north along the island nation, covering one of the most densely populated areas on Earth, the Tokyo metropolitan area. 1 million people were asked to evacuate as the typhoon made landfall. You can see it created a lot of damage, heavy rainfall, giant waves, which you just saw. Winds were recorded in areas of 135 mile an hour. That's more than likely what caused this damage that we're seeing there. Huge, absolutely huge waves. You can see a building downtown near the international airport was damaged. In fact, quite extensively. Cars that were thrown around like matchbox toys. That's probably a direct side effect of the 135 mile an hour wind gusts. Around 3.9 inches of torrential rain was recorded have fallen in just 1 hour in the area of Kyoto. As much as 20 inches of rain is set to fall in some other areas as it continues its trek northward. You can see it here on the Himawari. That's the storm right there. The Pacific, we've been following it very close this year. This is probably the 5th storm that's made landfall in Japan this year. And it looks like another area of tropical disturbance is starting to, or at least trying to get organized right now as I do this video. And that's been the trend. One will make landfall, dissipate to the north. Another one will form and head in that same direction. The East Pacific, this is the West Pacific, the East Pacific has been very busy also. There's 2 named storms over there right now and possibly a third about to join the party. They're no threat to land, no threat to Hawaii. They're going to drift north into the North Pacific. But again, it just adds to the overall total. It's been a very, very busy tropical season in the Pacific Ocean. And you can see the latest storm, Typhoon Jebi, has done a lot of damage in Japan, and it's not done yet. Here you can see this big storm was hardly even affected by the landfall. In fact, it looks like it may have increased in strength.
That's it for now, folks. Good luck on the East Coast.